I recently had an epiphany on my whole theory on college. And this is something that is always in my head. If you don't know, listener, I am a college dropout. I went to school for electrical engineering, computer science for 3.5 years. And it affected my life in so many ways that I have so many passionate beliefs about college. And I've always said pretty much the same thing that a lot of people say. And it's, if you don't need to be an engineer, a lawyer, or a doctor, there's literally no point in college, right? And so when you think about those things, or maybe even computer science, you know, those are really, you start thinking about hard and soft skills. And those are hard skills. You learn how to code. You learn how to cut open a body. You learn the law of law. You know, that's a lot of words you got to put in your brain. And outside of that, it's like, there's no point. You can just go and experience the world, right? However, I'm starting to think what I actually got out from college. And the most frustrating thing was the concrete facts and how they were not linking to anything in reality. We were learning computer science, and I was learning how to put asterisks in a pyramid. And I was like, how am I going to build an app? We're not even using C++ or Swift. We are using like a language that has nothing to do with anything. And I understand you have to learn, you know, basics in order to get where you want to be. But my frustration was with that. And the only meaningful thing I got out of college was the discussions I had with other students. It was, you know, trying to understand a professor and their viewpoint. And it was really putting myself in an environment that I wasn't used to. It was with other people. And it was like learning how to navigate this real world. It was exposing me to different beliefs, you know, different people coming from different backgrounds. And it was just learning and how to be like that person, not the vanilla person I was in high school in my bubble, but really learning how to talk to people, form opinions, seeing, you know, being empathetic to other situations. Exactly. And college can actually be a really good place for that. Yeah. And so I'm going back to, and I think this has something to do with, you can talk about this, David, a lot. It goes back to the things that actually helped me with what I'm doing now. And I will say, as much as I hated writing papers, being able to express my thoughts in a concise way has impacted everything I've done in my life, from writing emails to writing video treatments. Debating someone about something has helped me today. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, is it only worthy to go to college if it's like a psychology degree, or like an econ degree, or a debate degree or something, where you actually are going to practice these skills that traverse all mediums, you know? So that's recently what I've been thinking about. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is, you know, it's interesting. And I don't think you should pay $40K a year for any degree, but yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of what you said in there, and I just want to be really skeptical and just careful, really, of saying that there's no blanket prescriptions. And I still think that most people should go to college, but college is very, very, very multifaceted. Okay, there are some schools that cost $60,000 a year. There are also some community colleges that are virtually free.
Yeah.
We both call them college, and the price matters. The price that you pay for a university education really matters. But right now, we have 44 million people in this country who are in student debt, and collectively, their student debt adds up to more than $1.5 trillion with a T.
And you're entering your adult world with all of this baggage, which is
also the
bad.
only form of debt you can never get rid of.
Exactly. So with that said, I think that we should just be smart with talking about what kinds of college matter. And also, one thing that's really great is there's a lot of new systems that are beginning to emerge, a lot of new companies that are beginning to tackle these problems. One of my closest friends is working with some liberal arts schools, building a network to basically connect courses or universities, liberal arts colleges, their curriculums with companies in the real world to make sure that those two things are aligned and to boost job connection between students and these companies. Then there's Lambda School. I interviewed the founder of Lambda School, and what they do is they train people in computer science. You don't pay anything, and you only end up paying back to Lambda School after you've been hired. So what we're beginning to see is a lot of new alternatives, a lot of new market-based initiatives to a lot of these problems that I'm really excited about. But the most important thing I'm saying here is there's a lot of talk like don't go to college, do go to college. And it's really, really, really important for people to be discerning in terms of how much are they paying, knowing that student debt is going to be something that is going to probably impact them for the next 10 to 20 years. And
or
then, like you said, being smart with what you actually study in college, because I do think it's important to have a skill that you can communicate well to employers so that you can be sure that if you do invest money, and we forget about 4 years of our lives to make sure that once you leave, you have a job. But with that said, this is a really dire situation, and hundreds and hundreds of especially mid-tier liberal arts colleges are going to be really struggling, and many are going to go out of business.
Good, because they're treating it like a business, so they should
Which
go
is
out
the
of
problem.
business,
I mean,
which
I
is the
forget-
problem, right? I mean, Nick, you didn't go to college,
Yeah,
right?
I didn't go to college.
Skipped it.
I didn't go to college at all. My mom quickly realized that I just could not sit in a classroom and learn.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
David knows this too.
You wouldn't have lasted a day.
I would not have lasted a day. But again, like, you know, people ask me, well, you didn't go to college. Do you think people should go to college? And I say, I don't know, because it's all self-awareness, right? It's like David went to college. He did really well. I didn't go to college. I probably would not have done well either. I also just like, it was really scary for me, the idea of going to college and sitting for 2 years and learning about Greek history or like whatever, or just writing
Stuff
essays.
that's not relevant.
Yeah,
to what you
because
wanna do.
I knew what I wanted to do was in business and in marketing.
And see, a
with
lot
brands.
of people don't have that. A lot of people
Right.
don't know what they want to do.
Right.
So
and college is a
things
great
like
place to
college
discover
can,
that.
Yeah.
But I also was really, really proactive about making sure I'm always learning.
Right.
Right. Like a lot of the things that I know today are because of they're just self-taught.
What do you
Right.
think you've done to always be learning?
I mean, I've surrounded myself. My mom always says the 5 people you surround yourself with is the person you're going to become. So I always keep really, really good company.
Yeah.
Friends.
Yeah, I
Telling
don't
you.
necessarily have like that Sunday brunch crew or like the let's go out on Friday night crew. I just have a lot of really smart friends and a lot of friends that I think I can always learn from. I never think I'm smarter than any of my friends, because if I do, then I'm hanging out with the wrong person.
Friends are so crucial.
Yeah. Like David and I could hang out probably 24/7, and it's, I mean, we do.
You still be
We do.
learning, right?
But yeah, just I mean, you have to be so proactive. I mean, really, college gives you a degree, right? Like you said, if you're not an engineer, or engineer is even kind of on the fence, but if you're not a doctor or a lawyer, your college degree is really there to get you your first job, right? And once you get your first job,
And your network of people. So
Exactly.
you better make sure it's worth it.
exactly. And and the network is really important. We should touch on that after this.
Yeah.
But if you're like, how do I say this? If you can't get a first job out of college, then you had no reason for the last 4 years.
Because you have to be proactive
right?
in what you're doing.
Exactly.
Because I would go to college, I would sit in the back and I would edit videos. I
Right.
would literally be in the back of my computer science class and either be sleeping because I was editing all, night long, or I was doing work on my computer. And so the moment I realized, oh, I am literally getting nothing out of this experience, that's when I was like, it's time to leave. And I think people thrive in different situations. So if you are the social butterfly who is really like thirsty for knowledge and people and that environment of college, then more power to you. Again, don't do it for 200K. But there are options. And I think that's why I bring up college so much in my stuff, because I know there's like young people listening to me, and just know that you have options. So many people when they're juniors in high school are so scared to ask questions. They just go with the flow. And you're expected to make one of the biggest decisions of your life when you are 17 years old. Yeah. Which is insane. And there's no one sits you down in a lecture and teach you about debt and teach you about what the difference is between a community, a state, and a private school.
Right.
They just tell you how to ace your AP test or your SAT to get into college.
Right.
And so I think it's just, guys, ask questions, Google stuff, talk to your parents about it.
Yeah.
And if your parents don't understand, then don't talk to your parents about it. Because, you know, some parents are still on the wave of, it only costs me $2,000 to go to school every year. I don't understand why, you know, they lived a different time, so they might not understand.